Everybody, welcome to Neurotic News. Thanks so much for listening again. And I will plug something up the top today, which is that Dan and I are touring our new Hours of Stand-Up. Isn't that correct?
Yep, Melbourne
Comedy Festival. We're both doing the full month, which will be good. Those shows are on sale. And after Melbourne, I do Sydney, which is actually nearly full up already, and that's in May. So Melbourne Comedy Festival is late March all through April. And then I do Brisbane Comedy Festival for a week, which is in May as well. And all the details, tickets, blah, blah, blah. If you go on my social media, you'll see all the dates. It's all, it's everywhere. You can't not find it. You know, and that'd be the same for you, Rathy. You'd be doing the same, wouldn't you?
Just Melbourne.
You're just doing Melbourne?
Yeah.
You're not doing...
No, I think because I come from here, I can't do.
Right. They don't allow you.
Yeah, you know?
That's right.
You know how Brisbane supports its locals?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a very supportive city.
Brisbane has the attitude of if you come from here, therefore you can't be good.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of every other city.
Yeah.
Because even Montreal puts its locals
They have
in the festival.
They have a local gala as well. Seriously.
They do. Yeah, no, I went to it. It was like, it'll be some French dude and no one knows what he's saying. He's like, Je m'appelle Bombert.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what? He's like, oh, he lives
lives
door
nearby.
to the gala.
He lives next door to the theatre.
He lives next door to the theatre, so we had to put him on.
So what you're saying is Montreal, the most exclusive comedy festival in the world, had you, but Brisbane didn't.
Yeah, it's Brisbane. Brisbane's like, even when a Brisbane act does the Brisbane festival, have you noticed they act like they're coming in from out of town?
Yeah.
They'll be like, Damien is just flowing in.
Yeah. He is definitely not living here. We want to clarify that. He's actually good. So he can't be living here.
He won't be driving from Auchenflower. It's this weird thing with Brisbane where it's just, because but it's just unnecessary.
It is
the
strange.
self-hatred.
It is. And you know what? It's well documented. Like literally read an article about that very thing, that Brisbane just doesn't support its artists, and some of the most interesting artists have come from Brisbane, but they just don't fucking support them. Sam Campbell's from Brisbane. We're from Brisbane. Greg Larson's from Brisbane. Mel Buttle's from Brisbane. Becky Lucas is from Brisbane. I mean, these guys are some of the best in Australia. What the fuck is wrong with Brisbane? Someone tell me.
I think the culture vultures, whoever runs these festivals, they're like, oh, but they're from here though.
I want to shoot. I just have rage towards people that work in arts admin. They're like fucking scum. Vultures and ticks sucking the life out of artists.
They're like the barnacles on the whale. You know?
I feel like the fish, you know, the sucker fish on the bottom of a whale. That's even more humiliating, I feel.
Yeah.
Just like, hello, my lord. And then just like sucking around.
They're the ones programming the festival guide.
The programs of the festival guide are the ones that are feeding off the dead skin of Aaron Chen.
Of which there is some to be had. But yeah, they're suckerfish.
They're suckerfish. I should clarify, Aaron's a good friend of ours, so we're certainly not having a go. But
no, it's the suckerfish that are underneath.
The suckerfish, that's the industry. And in Australia, they're deplorable in the sense that they're hopeless. God, scarcely do people even know what's going on in comedy in Australia. No. They wonder where all the good comics are. It's almost like exclusively bad comedians get famous in Australia and good ones don't. It's crazy. It's almost like the opposite of other countries.
People who do the least get the most.
Yeah, it's strange. It's a strange world. Well, here we are recording.
But Brisbane is the most pure version of it.
Of that, yeah.
Which is, it's because it's like why not just do it like everywhere else? Where they have like a support of the locals.
It's almost like they perceive the public to be like, well, if they're from Brisbane, they can't be good.
Yeah.
And I guess they're kind of like, that's why they're all from interstate.
It's just so, it's so emblematic of the like low self-esteem and confusion of Australia. Like it's like Australia Day. It's like this weird thing now where like people don't know what to do.
Right.
Because they're like, can I go to the cafe? It's technically a public holiday. Or should I just stay at home and feel weird?
Yeah.
Which is ironically more Australian than wearing an Australian flag cape.
Right.
And that's actually, it's more true now. It more truly embodies the Australian spirit.
The fact that people are confused about what to do on Australia Day because of, for international listeners, what Dan's referring to is the fact that that people are protesting, supporting our National Day because it is the same. It's the day of the, what is it? Tell me. It's about the white people.
Something
and
bad.
It's ignoring the Indigenous.
Yeah.
Something bad happened. It's to do with the colonisation of Australia.
They want, and but it's in this purgatory now, where some people go in and attack people at Coles for not stocking Australian flags, so they can put them in their cupcakes or whatever.
Right, because there's nowadays everything's so divided that there's people that go to our local supermarkets and protest the fact they're not selling Australian flags on the National Day because they're making a political stance or whatever. But also I don't imagine Australiana merchandise sells very well. Who the fuck wants an Australian cape?
No, it's just for, a forklift driver with a brain injury.
Right.
Coming in, going, la, 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 yelling at the shelf stacker as if it's their choice. Like as if the shelf stacker was like, I don't want them here.
Yeah. Some poor underpaid, local Woolworths worker just doing their job, just going, look, man, I have a horrible life. I've got no money. They underpay us. They literally document every minute we work and when we don't work and rest and stuff, and it's just all totalitarian. And you're coming in here going, why the fuck didn't you stock the Australian flag, you dog?
Yeah, like they vote. It's just the CEO.
Yeah, it's just the CEO's like, nah, they don't sell well. If Australian flags sold well, they would just sell them.
Yeah,
because.
But they don't. It's just one truck driver.
I did notice we are recording in a comedy club. This podcast studio is in a comedy club, and it's a dive bar. Like it's a dive pub. It's a shithole where we're recording.
Yeah, famously.
Famously, the Sit Down Comedy Club. Giving that a plug. God, we're really ripping into local institutions today. I think listeners would be like, this one's starting a bit weird. But it's funny how in these kinds of pubs, the ads in the toilets reflect what kind of pub it is, because in that toilet, there's one ad above the urinal that says, is an ad for mental health. And it's a guy staring into a mirror going like, I thought I was happy, but I'm not, or whatever, and dial mental health 1-800 blah, blah, blah. And then the other ad is like, don't donate a kidney.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a real, reflection of where we are. Don't get depressed and drink yourself to death and need your kidney replaced. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see what you mean. It's like targeted ads.
Yeah. It's like, this is the demographic that needs a new kidney and are thinking about killing themselves.
Suicidal people on the verge of dialysis having a laugh.
Yeah.
Who need a laugh.
Who've come for a laugh.
And a jug of Jim Beam.
Yeah. Jug of Jim Beam, thanks.
There's Jim Beams.
You come from Jim Beam, please.
Just belching rum. Just, when they have like those micro spews. Like, you think they're laughing, but they're like, just thrown up in their mouth. And they're trying to act like that didn't happen.
Yeah. Because they're just gorging on fucking chicken wings and pizza while you're starting up the show.
When they're gorging on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like a trough has been laid out. It's difficult because you can hear the rustling.
Well, you're on stage, they're fucking sticking their face in a bag of chicken wings and they're burping because they're drinking rum and coke, which is basically, if you broke it down, is actually poison.
Yeah.
And they're expected to enjoy the show between, dipping their fucking chicken wings in the blue cheese dip that dog, it's just the other night I came out and the dude just burped loudly and it was Valentine's Day. He was on a date. He was on a date and he burped as I started the show. And I went, fuck, that's confident. And he's like, yeah, the date's going well.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no problem with gorging. It's all I've got left. But
yeah,
like I have my own trough at home. But when the trough is set up in front of you, it's a little distracting.
In public.
You know?
You like to have your private trough.
Yeah.
Because gorging on food, as you say, is one of the only pleasures you've got left to stimulate your fledging dopamine receptors.
Yeah.
Flailing
It's the only
dopamine receptors.
It's like getting defibrillators on the dead dopamine receptors. Just getting them going.
Getting a margarita with a bowl of Ben and Jerry's after.
Yeah. Something. Felt something.
Yeah. I find because I can't sleep, I eat more when I don't sleep.
Yeah.
Like, just, they say about insomnia is that you can't do anything in your bed that isn't, sleeping. Because
I hate when they say that,
yeah, because your brain associates whatever you're doing in the bed with the bed. So if you're not sleeping in it, you work, like my brain thinks the bed is where I lie to have repetitive, paranoid, delusional thoughts.
Because that's what you do there.
That's what I do there. Yeah. About my closest friends and family just conspiring together to bring me down. So I'm trying to shift that to the couch.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So that when I can't sleep, I go do the delusions and the scrawling and the pacing and screaming and banging my head against the wall. I try and do that out of the bed area.
Better to have it associated with the couch.
Yeah, so I've got the paranoid couch. So when friends come over and, don't eat Doritos on my paranoid couch.
Yeah.
That's where I scream, I'll show them all.
There's no live, love, laugh, throw pillow.
No, it just is a swash sticker. Not related to.
Embroidered?
Embroidered on the cushion.
Professionally.
Yeah. Not related to white power or anything, just seems appropriate for that particular couch.
It's where you read a lot of Hitler biographies.
Yeah, just a negative spiral.
Yeah. I feel like that's when you read about World War II is when you're on the paranoid couch.
Yeah. Get a good bio in, get a good in-depth spiral into Stalingrad.
Yeah.
See about that.
It's funny when like melatonin no longer works.
That is funny, yeah.
Like the floodgates.
Well, there's so many teas and supplements and shit you can do, but none of them work. Magnesium, that's another one. None of it works. And that's what pisses me off is that you get that roommate and he's just like, I do everything right. I get up early. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink alcohol. I go to bed early. I turn off all the screens. I do all the shit they say. And then you got that fat roommate who's gorging on cheesels with 3 screens set up in his bed, pornography, Ozarks, and fucking Game of Thrones.
Like a stockbroker when they've got 3 monitors.
Yeah.
You know when you see like at a stockbroking firm, they've got 3 computers each.
Yeah, he's doing that. And
trading
drinking
crypto.
Yeah, tracking crypto, watching porn and Ozarks, drinking coffee, eating a pizza, playing like loud explosions.
Smoking
cigarettes
and vaping.
Smoking cigarettes and vaping. And then just sleeps like a baby.
Yeah.
And you can hear the snoring in the next room while you're awake. And that's what kills you.
Yeah.
The snore of someone who doesn't deserve to sleep while you can't sleep.
Yeah.
After an industrious day.
Yeah, it's like they're the only people getting REM sleep are the people who don't deserve
it.
It's
always the people. I sleep on the plane.
You don't deserve it.
After I drink myself to death.
They drink at the airport and then sleep on the plane.
I can't believe it. It drives me crazy. That'll be like that sound of that snore is just like a cynical whisper in my ear. Like the sound of it's just like, yeah, you'd love to sleep like this, wouldn't you? It's like taunting you.
It's the opposite of whale noises.
It's the opposite of whale noises.
It's the taunt of a whale, man. Which is, it's enraging because it's like you do all the sleep hygiene rituals and then that's actually almost what stops you from sleeping.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about it
too much.
Too much.
Yeah, I think about it too much. I talk about it too much.
The more you care about it, the more you're thwarted by it. But it sounds like, you know, your roommate is not thinking about it.
He's not thinking about it. It is funny how we listen to whale noises, isn't it? Because you're basically spying on a whale conversation. Like they could be talking about something really deep.
So we're like Jeff Bezos to them in a weird way, like Alexa.
You think Alexa's spying on us?
Who's recording the whale noises? Is it submarines?
It's a great question.
Like, is there a podcast studio?
Well, I just think it's a bit perverted to be like, let's hear what they're fucking saying.
Because they're intelligent, right?
Yeah, very intelligent, yeah.
So they could be intimate.
Yeah, they could be having a breakup.
Yeah.
They could be having an argument. Like, fuck you, I'm leaving. You fucking bitch, you cheated on me.
And that's playing at the float tank.
Right.
Place.
They're screaming at each other. Complicated, you know, like, fucking bitch, cheated on me. I hate you. I never wanted to do this anyway.
And you've submerged in a float tank going, this is nice.
Yeah. And all we hear is, like, we don't know if aliens would listen to us screaming.
Yeah. Like the meth head at the payphone headbutting it. And they're like, oh, that's relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's screaming, fucking dog, you fucking Trevor, rip me off the cunt. You fucking say that again, wouldn't ya? Wouldn't ya? And it's just an alien listening to that.
Listening to human betrayal.
Human betrayal and screaming.
And getting alien REM sleep off the back of it.
Even aliens are getting REM sleep.
Yeah.
Makes me jealous.
Well, I went to a float tank and you think, because, you know, you try everything with insomnia. And you're just in this float tank trying to relax in a magnesium like the Red Sea.
Right, yeah, you're floating in a dense mineral
And
bath.
they're like, it's sensory deprivation. And I did it in the Central Business District, this float tank place, and I could hear like just drilling. I heard a meth head screaming. Like that could somehow penetrate this fortitude. Like it's sensory deprivation. I was getting sensory overload.
Yeah.
From
right, yeah,
like
I
that
see
you
what
can't
you mean.
escape the city. Its tentacles run
Right.
deep.
Yeah, you couldn't get away from the screaming and the businessman going, well, I told Trevor to sell and he didn't sell it, so here we are. And you're just lying there trying not.
Yeah, I could literally hear conversation fragments, even though it was in a subterranean bunker. You can hear drilling and construction. There's no escape.
No escape. Yeah, the other day I saw a meth head get on the bus and just scream, Transformers, more than meets the eye. Like he screamed that out across the bus. And I thought it must be good to let go.
Yeah.
Just to let go.
There's a jealousy with that, eh?
Yeah, when you just see someone screaming and just they don't care.
Yeah, they've got like a pack of shapes and with 3 litre Coke.
A pack of shapes.
And they're going to go home and just debauch themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. You just see it. Like I saw a businessman next to me on the plane just did a kilogram of Allen snakes.
Yeah.
Snakes alive. They're all fucking dead. No, I'm just joking.
And he's gorging on them.
He's gorging. He's obese. He's in his 50s. He just looks like shit, drinking beer, eating candy, a giant bag of candy. He doesn't care anymore.
I saw a dude like that. He had candy, he had like a pizza and like candy, and he was on the train. He had headphones, was listening to music and playing this game on his phone, and he was just like twitching like he was fucked, like going between them, but it kind of looked
It's pure stimulation, pure hedonism, instant everything.
Yeah, when I see people eating on the train, I feel like that's where it comes out.
Right.
You know, people having a full meal, like a banquet.
I could never do that, I don't think.
Just munching, crunching and slurping.
People just don't care anymore, I don't think, really.
I saw a guy on the train on an iPad, just starts giggling like, watching funny videos.
Right.
Without headphones, so you just hear the videos. It's like weird noises like, SpongeBob's coming, like, but he's an adult. in a Bunnings uniform. Mm-hmm. And like just, but the giggles started getting to, it was just, and then he fell off the chair laughing and was kind of just rolling on the floor with the iPad, like, and it was like he was in pain or he was squealing with ecstasy, but it looked torture. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I was like, is this torture or pleasure?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's it really embodies the relationship with the phone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you sit there, I find myself mindlessly watching, like everything that comes in my feed is just like snakes, people catching snakes, people shooting rats, and people trying to catch anacondas and crocodiles. And then I'll just snap out of it, and I've been there for an hour.
Yeah.
Like they've worked out the thing to keep you, in
completely
mind numbing till you're rolling on the floor like a maniac. I was staying with a friend of mine in Melbourne, unrelated to this previous conversation, and on the bookshelf, she's a feminist, like quite a hardcore feminist, and I couldn't help but notice the titles of the books. They were like The Ethical Slut, The Vagina Monologues, Not That Kind of Girl. One was called Fucked, just Fucked. And I just thought it was interesting how much innuendo there was in the feminist book titles.
Yeah.
Which is so different to the male ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, Inside Hitler's Bunker, Nazi Superstructures,
Hitler's Gardener,
Hitler's Inner Circle, Submarines.
Yeah.
It's different to come on my face, I'm independent.
Yeah.
Because obviously sexual liberation's a huge part of feminism.
Yeah.
Is what she told me. She said it's a huge part of it. That's why we have books like A Slut and a Scholar or whatever, like.
It's in that ballpark of like where there's an asterisk in the swear word.
Right. There's so many of those books, isn't there? Get the fuck up and do something.
How to fucking suck.
Shut the fuck up and be happy.
Be French, you slut. I've seen ones like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm
a
French slut.
That's a new phenomenon, isn't it? The swear word book titles.
With the asterisks?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, idiot. It's time to be happy. It's very much like that, isn't it?
You are a piece of shit, asterisks.
Yeah, asterisks because they can't have cunt.
Yeah.
Or fuck or shit.
But they can firmly implant the image in your brain.
Yeah.
But there's a loophole. With the asterisks, it takes longer.
What is it? The subtle art of not giving a fuck.
You pussy bitch.
You fucking piece of shit.
There's that. That's kind of like, but you're talking about like the girl boss version of that. Like
it's the girl boss. Yeah. Sluts and
sluts on top.
Sluts in the C-suite.
Sluts in the CBD.
Yeah, sluts in the C-suite.
Yeah, it's like there's that weird self-help type genre with the asterisks and shit.
Asterisks, yeah.
And then there's, the highbrow self-help.
What's that?
It's like where they use an animal to make it seem scientific. Have you seen that one? They'll be like, oh, the lobster has the hierarchy.
Oh, like the Jordan Peterson thing?
Yeah.
But that's common, isn't it? You mean they use animals to
seem smart.
Right.
So you go, oh, this is, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, a chimpanzee will never leave its best friend, that kind of shit.
Yeah, and you're like, I get it now because chimpanzees won't leave the, like I read one recently, it was like, the sea sponge absorbs information from its environment. And you're like, oh, now I get it. They have to use an animal to seem smart.
Yeah.
Because it makes them seem smart to use an animal.
If you wank a sea cucumber, it looks like it comes at the end and you're like, oh, yeah, like a dick.
I get it. So the sea cucumber's a dick.
Orangutans will spot a male who's not regularly a part of the group and will stomp their fucking skulls to death and bash them and throw their limp bodies into a river.
Oh, that's why I wasn't invited to the fundraiser. Like you link it back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they use animals really well. I get it now.
Yeah, that's highbrow. You won't see that in the art of giving a knob job to a dog.
Fuck you, cunt. You
Yeah.
fucking idiot. Grow up. A lot
You
of
are
asterisks
scum.
in that one. A chimpanzee will shit into its hand and throw it at its closest friends.
As a
You're
sign
like,
of disrespect.
as a sign of disrespect. And you're like, oh yeah, I get it. That's how I get treated at work.
That's the monkey covered in shit theory. Where, a bonobo covers itself in its own excrement and then punches you in the nuts and you're fine with it because it's covered in shit, so it doesn't think it's better than you.
You're like, oh, that's how I feel sometimes at parties.
Yeah.
You do that?
Yeah.
I didn't even get the fucking lobster thing in Jordan Peterson's book.
No, it's
The
just
famous
it's
passage.
it's his way of going like, I have studied something. Do you know what I mean? So you go, fuck.
Oh,
Lobsters.
He's like, lobsters, when they learn they get defeated, their brain dies.
Yeah.
And they shed a skin and they become a piece of shit. That's what he said.
I mean, I relate to it, but I don't need a lobster.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just call me a piece of shit.
Yeah. You've already shed your skin and your brain's already deactivated. You know, they say that.
Yeah.
What did he say?
You have
The
to bring a
brain-
crustacean into it.
Yeah. I already get it.
I have no serotonin. Just tell me bluntly
Yeah. You don't need to bring a fucking crustacean into.
to show you have a degree.
I'm going to bring a shellfish into this to tell you indirectly that you've got low self-esteem and that you're a piece of shit and you should get up and do push-ups.
I'd rather eat you're a piece of fucking dog shit cunt. Like, because that'll have the same thing, but they won't bring a lobster into it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
They're like, I am.
Are you talking about like David Goggins? Because what'd you tell me?
Oh, yeah. He's on that thing, eh? Like, you are scum.
You are
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
He threatens to kill. Like, you'll listen to his thing. He's like, I will kill you.
I listened to Goggins for the first time recently as a form of motivation. And there was a bit you were telling me about. I didn't get all the way through it, but there's a bit where he's interviewed by Huberman.
Yeah.
Huberman, who's, I don't know if you guys know this, listeners, but most people probably know him. He's a really famous podcaster who podcasts about wellness and health from a science perspective.
His last name is Ubermensch.
Ubermensch.
Is the English version of Uberman.
Uberman.
Yeah.
And he's
Nietzsche.
always going like, he's always too careful for getting cancelled because he's always like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, and for women, and I want to clarify, I mean women as in sexual people that are
He
born
clarified.
as women but may not necessarily be women if you identify not as a woman, or you're possibly a man who identifies as a woman.
He's like,
It's
when
also
you're having
acceptable.
intercourse, I mean consensually and not with a barnyard animal. It's with a adult. Like he does these weird,
He's
and they're the
worried.
funniest parts of it
Right.
because it's like the over clarification, like takes ages.
I do not mean you rape women or have sex with animals or you should attack people or in any way.
I don't mean to suggest that.
You do not endorse Nazism in any way or form. I just mean if you're going for a jog.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
dopamine's a molecule.
And by molecule, I do not mean a trans person.
I don't mean, when I talk
Or
about
any-
trans fats, I'm talking about a food ingredient. I'm not talking about a morbidly obese Caitlyn Jenner, perchance. Like there's a weird, it's like, did you need to,
Yeah, did you need to clarify that?
with
But
Dave
he-
Goggins? Oh yeah, he's like, I have a friend that is just really struggling to lose weight.
You're saying this too, Goggins.
Yeah, like really, he's like, it's just, I feel because I've never had this problem that I could never
encourage
him because it feels like I'm punching down by describing a struggle when he is going through more and more difficult things each day, like very kind of emotional. And he's like, what would you have to say to my friend, to Dave Goggins? And he goes, sounds like he's a fucking fat piece of shit. And Huberman goes, I think you'd appreciate hearing that. And I don't know, it was just funny because it's like, it's so outside of his field. Do you know, like he can't say, so he's just got to be like, oh, I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I'll pass that on to him directly. Yeah, tell him. Yeah, well, why don't you tell him he's a fat piece of shit? He's a fucking loser. Get out of bed, you fat loser, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, he went on to just verbally.
You fat cunt.
Yeah. Name of my next book.
You fat cunt with an asterisk.
It's just funny seeing that clash, but also I think he'll appreciate that.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, David Goggins said that you're a fat piece of shit, and he's going to go, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's going to be like, great.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, dude. You hooked me up.
But he kind of pivoted from like being super sensitive to, he's still, but it's just an interesting.
Who, Huberman?
Huberman, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the dude. I never even listened to him. He's just, they're just so popular now, the wellness people.
He's one of those scientists that's built like an NRL forward.
Yeah, he is.
Like he'd pack a scrum or teach you about serotonin.
Yeah, he's like ripped.
In the scrum, maybe. Like
the wellness thing is fascinating because I like what we were talking about, like that billionaires now use wellness to be better at making money. Like they meditate, and that's funny because Buddha, when beginning the enlightened, philosophy of Buddhism, which is to use these wellness techniques that these people use, like meditation, like yoga, like fasting, to lower your desires and to be more present and to want for less. That's Buddhism. But they're using the same thing to increase their desire, increase their amount of money they're making, increase the amount of work they're doing. They're using Buddhism to suck and fuck on a yacht.
Yeah.
On
the Cape of Africa.
Off the Horn of Africa.
Or whatever. South Cape.
The South Cape. Cape Town.
Yeah. It's weird because I remember it feels like with bankers in the 90s and 80s, their drug of choice was cocaine.
Definitely, yeah.
Which would lead to an eventual self-sabotage.
Psychosis, breakdown.
Insider trading and disgrace. And
lying, cheating, getting caught.
Yeah.
Going down. But now all the tech billionaires don't do that. They're into wellness, so they just keep going. And they're getting better and better at mining our heads.
Yeah.
For fucking...
Well, you'd get some banker, he'd lose everything and just hang himself because he's addicted to coke and he was paranoid.
Right.
But these people are using mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, to create more brain growth.
Right. So they're getting better at
less paranoid.
Yeah. Getting better at colonizing our minds.
Yeah.
I wish Bezos was on coke, listening to Alexa, getting his name searched through
geotagging his name.
Yeah, it's like, where is my name being said right now in the world? Getting that information and going down a paranoid
And it'd be
spiral.
like all the time. Someone would say his name every second, right?
Probably, yeah.
So he'd just be like, fuck, and he'd flip out.
You'd hate to get it'd be weird to get stoned and paranoid if you were like a billionaire like him who's in control of the world.
Yeah.
Because you'd just be like, fuck, holy fuck, I fucking went up into space with a rocket. What the fuck is going on?
Go to space tomorrow. Fuck. Like, do you know the night
just
before?
Panicking, yeah. It's fucking crazy.
It's weird that they've weaponized Buddhism and alternative therapies and psilocybin.
It makes it worse for us because they're just getting better at their jobs.
Yeah.
If they were on coke.
If someone introduced cocaine to Mark Zuckerberg, like... It'd be good. Like get him hooked on coke and the whole thing unravels.
Yeah.
Like he's in a press conference just, fuck, what, I don't,
Yeah.
But instead he's going to a retreat and, forming more bonds over ayahuasca, licking a toad's back.
Yeah. So I can come back and go, in the metaverse, it would be even better if people were completely consumed in the virtual world.
I just licked a toad and I found a way we can better just trap them. Remember the Matrix? We can make that real. It's just to better fuck, because then we get dumber.
Yeah.
And they get smarter.
Yeah. Yeah, because the more addicted you are to your phone, the better because now the ways the phones are now and the software on the phone is so addictive and consuming that we're getting dumber, our attention span's getting less, and they don't use those apps. Like Zuckerberg doesn't use Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they create the drug, but then they
Don't get high on your own supply.
They send their kids to Montessori schools and that have tech-free zones and
yeah, and they're building bunkers all around the world and shit.
It's like when you go and get heroin. It's better if the dealer's hooked on it as well because there's more empathy for the dealer when he's scratching his veins as well. But if you went to the heroin dealer and he was doing like chin-ups, and like meditating and stuff.
It's really concerning. Yeah. Then they're all like pro LGBTIQ, woke, like pro, all the causes, the big corporate guys and stuff as well. So it's like they're doing the wellness. They're very progressive facing. It's like you can't, take them down or whatever.
It's weird to be made nostalgic for Wolf of Wall Street type. Self-destructive.
Yeah, those were the good old capitalists.
Because their life expectancy was like 37.
Right. So even if there was a bad one, he wouldn't last.
Yeah, whereas now the tech startups are injecting stem cells into their dick and, they're like, that guy that's got a team of scientists helping him live forever?
Yeah.
I think he like invented Snapchat or something.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? They invent some horrible
thing that's just
destroying and ravaging, but then they've got a team of scientists making them live for longer to make worse and worse apps and tech that just destroys.
The gateway is always through trying to do something good, like you're saying about Neuralink.
Yeah.
Neuralink by Elon Musk is being used so that disabled people can communicate and use their minds.
Yeah.
Which is good.
But then we're going to have a full totalitarian state where the government can read our minds.
Right.
But the reason that the technology was developed is so that Gary in the coma unit could tell the nurse he had diarrhea.
Right, I see what you mean.
Using his thoughts.
Right.
So they're like, we've got to change the colostomy bag. I just got some Morse code from Gary.
Right. So you're saying like they go, hey, guess what? We've invented this great thing for disabled people and stuff and people, whatever, this Neuralink, and that's how they get in. And then it's like, yeah, and everyone can use it now.
Yeah.
And now it's available for everyone. Then everyone uses it. And then the government's like, oh, what are you thinking about the supreme leader like that for?
You're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, you had a negative thought about the supreme leader.
Yeah, but it'll just be because in the coma ward, Gary could communicate his thoughts to a nurse.
That's how it always
starts.
Like
the gateway drug to totalitarianism is helping one dude communicate thoughts who can't talk.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Right, yeah.
But I guess it's like Viagra was used so your granddad could bang Dorothy. But then a porn star will use it.
So they can fuck for 4 days straight and their dick falls off during an orgy.
I guess what I'm saying is like if you find the technology to make a paraplegic walk, you could give a billionaire wings.
Right.
With the same. Do you know what it like?
As in like you're saying that they can develop enough to alter someone's body, then they could also, and fix it, they could also use it to give Elon Musk literal wings using genetic modification.
Yeah.
And he can fly around.
Yeah.
Check out all his Teslas from up high.
He can just watch them. Yeah, observe his creations.
Yeah.
From a distance, upward distance. But yeah, it's because it's just weird to me that that's how the gateway in.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Through doing something good.
Yeah.
It's like all things are like that. The phone is to connect us. The CCTV on the street's to protect you.
Yeah.
The neural links, in case you're unable to use your body, you can use your mind.
Yeah.
To move. Whatever it is.
Yeah, but yeah, I think, you can't stop it at just fixing disability or whatever.
Yeah, it'll just keep going.
Yeah.
On that note, I think we should call it a day for this week. But thanks for listening, and we'll be back. We'll be back. Oh, yeah. Big time.